All right. Anguish in the world because of Babylon's judgment. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her. And when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Revelations 18:9 through 10.
I was getting ahead of myself. Maybe it's absurd as translation is.
And the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously in luxury with her shall weep and wail over her when they look upon the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Woe, woe, the great city of Babylon, the strong city, for in 1 hour thy judgment have come. In that day, Babylon will dominate and rule the world. The capital of the Antichrist will be Babylon, and he will have the first total dictatorship. The world will become an awful place. In that day, everything will center in Babylon. The stock market will be read from Babylon, not New York. The Babylon instead of Paris will be set the styles for the world. Um, a play to be successful will have to be a success in Babylon, not London. Everything in that city will be in rebellion against Almighty God, and it centers in Antichrist. Interesting. No one dreamed that this great city would be judged. Yet, by the time the sun goes down, Babylon is nothing but smoldering ruins. When the news goes out, the world is stunned, and then begins the wail. The whole world will howl when Babylon goes down. I imagine that if you were on the moon, you would have to tune down your earphones to because the howl would be so loud. In chapter 17, we saw that the kings of the earth hated religious Babylon, and that Antichrist got rid of it in order that he might be worshipped without any competition in the area of religion. And the kings of the earth joined in her destruction. Okay. All right. And then wait a minute, did I skip something?
In contrast to the.
Oh, I did. I skipped a page. There we go. Okay. In contrast to this, here in chapter 18, we see that the kings of the earth love commercial Babylon because the revenue she brought to their coffers. In fact, it is called here fornication. You can't find a better word for it than that. The lobbyists were in Babylon, not Washington, D.C. They were representing all the great corporations in the world. But the kings desert Babylon like rats leaving a sinking ship. Their mourning is both pathetic and contemptible. They eulogize her with paneg- panegrius, panagius, pangrius, Greeks. I don't know that word.
Yeah,
Of praise.
following you with. Sorry.
Is they eulogize her with ships. They marvel. Isn't that different? Yeah. Paneg.
Uh, Panegyris. Panegyris. But there it is. I found it.
Okay.
Of praise.
Of praise. But there is a hopelessness in their anguish. They marvel at the sudden destruction of that which they thought was gilt-edged security. The judgment came in the space of 1 hour, reminding us that the sudden devastation caused by an atomic explosion. This is a frightening picture presented to us, and it is the final uh, conflagration.
Yeah.
Okay. That and catastrophic judgment that will bring Christ to the earth to set up his kingdom.
Conflagration. There's no E in between the G and R. But anyway, he does use very large words, but then he brings it down. Everybody thinks that he talks on their level. I guess he does. He talks on everybody's level. One of the things that comes to mind here is, when you I had I knew somebody that was from LA,
Mhm.
and they hated it here because they would say there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you were from Cincinnati, so
Mhm.
you kind of, I don't know if you kind of feel that. I mean, I remember there was people, well, they got in trouble the last time they had the jazz festival up there.
Mhm.
But I knew people who came from Lexington that went up there for the jazz festival and different things. And
Mhm.
so and we go up there for, Kings Island and it's kind of, it's the place to go, not Lexington.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things. So, I like going to visit places like that, but I don't like to live in places like that. I like to live close enough that I can drive to it and visit. But it's just, there's just too much going on there.
But this shows us why that we shouldn't uh, be like the person I knew where it said, well, I hate it here because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's because there's no sin.
Yes.
There's less sin here than in those places. That's to that, and so that's why that it's causing you to want to go there and live. Now, this individual lives in San Francisco, so they claim to be a Christian, but I don't. Obviously not. But so that